welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Datia. We have with us Ria Singh, Senior Technical Analyst, Currencies, joining in. Ria, welcome to the show. Ria, overall, if you go to see in terms of the dollar-rupee pair, we're seeing a pretty mixed move. What's the sense that you pick up?
I think after the dollar index relaxed a bit, beyond that, I think we are seeing such mixed move. Also, RBI coming into play and controlling the premiums in the forward contract is another factor why we are seeing such, consolidated range. Of course, there is also the meeting that is due in June. So even there, there is an anticipation that again a rate hike could come in. So that is also fueling in into the the momentum of the USDINR. So going forward, I think Indian rupee will remain into the consolidated range. If there is a bullish momentum on the dollar index, then it could move to 78.25, but that is the maximum depreciation that could come in, I think, into the Indian rupee pair, because RBI is quite adamant in maintaining the momentum of the Indian rupee controlled and not letting it to depreciate very aggressively. So if that range surpasses, RBI will step in again and control the depreciation. So 78.25 maximum depreciation that one could go forward with if there is an aggressive bullish momentum coming in into the dollar index. Otherwise, I think it will remain range bound between 78.05 to 77.80 in that range, at least for the coming week.
Right. So with that, if you have to talk about the yen as well, we've seen some rapid weakness that did come in. How are you viewing the yen?
Well, the Japanese government and Bank of Japan have been aggressively buying bonds. So there is a lot of liquidity that has been getting flown into the economy there. And since it is Japan is not battling as severe inflation as seen into the other countries, they are quite adamant in continuing with the the accommodative stand and influxing more liquidity into the economy in order to push or to bring back the growth. So this is one of the reasons why we are seeing such a yen moving from 125 towards 127 levels in these sessions. I think it will continue because I think there will be more such unlimited buying of bonds that will happen into the coming months as well, because the statements from the Bank of Japan predicts the same. So I think USDJPY could remain within 130 to 124 levels. This is the broad range that one could see. And going forward, I think in at least a week session, weakness will follow into the USDJPY.
Right. And very lastly, in terms of the euro as well, clearly it's set for the best month in a year, though there is some bit of weakness. How are you expecting the euro to move on from here?
So I think there is a lot of anticipation into the market that EU will go forward with the rate hike. And I think that will come in because even after the market already moving beyond the sessions, after market moving beyond most of the economies and the central banks acknowledging that the inflation is here to stay and some action needs to be taken, ECB has followed into that step. And if you look at the current numbers of May, where the Germany has seen accelerating inflation from 7.4 to 8.9%. Spain is witnessing accelerating inflation towards beyond 8%, and the Eurozone altogether has witnessed the inflation of 8.1% for the month of May. So we can definitely see that the inflation will remain accelerated, taking into consideration the war situation with the Russia and Ukraine, because that is not deaccelerating or going anywhere, at least with the the developments that have been there. So that situation will definitely put a dent into the commodities prices, it will continue to accelerate and put pressure into the inflation into the Eurozone altogether. Now, if you look at the energy prices, so food inflation was the major reason why we were seeing inflation into the Eurozone altogether, led by the supply bottlenecks because of the Russia and Ukraine war. Secondly, the energy prices is the second factor that have been affecting the inflation into the Eurozone. And now EU discussing the plan that they'll be banning half of the supply from the Russia will again accelerate the energy prices in that zone and altogether. So I think inflation will remain at the elevated levels. So the probability of ECB going with the rate hike is quite high. Now, whether it will be 0.25 or 0.75, that is debatable, but a rate hike is coming into the EU altogether. And this anticipation is leading towards the strength of the Euro USD. Once the statements on the June 9 come in, as to what will be the pace of the rate hikes and how much of the curve they'll be putting onto the liquidity that they have done into the Eurozone altogether. So once these guidelines come in, I think a picture will be a lot clearer, and the same will be reflected into the Euro USD. But I think on the shorter term, it could accelerate towards 1.08 levels and so on.
Right. So these are a few of the views coming in. So Ria, what are the strategies that you would recommend?
I think USDINR will remain into the consolidated range and will witness mixed momentum. So in the intraday sessions, what you can do is you can buy into the USDINR around the level of 77.86 for a target of 78 by keeping a stop loss at 77.74. Now, the immediate support into the USD-INR is at 77.69. So once that breaches, you can initiate sell. So if that breaches, you can sell for a target of 77.45, keep a strict SL at 77.90. So this is the strategy in the Indian rupee. The next, what you can do is buy into the USDJPY at the level of 127.80 for a target of 128.25, 128.50. Keep a strict SL at 127.35. Of course, the same momentum will be reflected into JPYINR. So you can short the JPYINR. I think there is some pullback that will come into the current bullish momentum into the JPYINR. So you can sell JPYINR below the level of 60.88 for a target of 60.75, 60.54. Keep a very strict SL at 61.10. Keeping in mind the strength coming into the Euro USD, I think you can buy into the Euro INR for above the level of 83.85. Keep a strict SL at 84.10 and target at 83. You can buy above 83.85. You can keep a SL at 83.68 and target at 84.10. So these are the few strategies that you can follow.
Right, so these are strategies that one can follow as well. There are no questions coming up. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Ria, for joining me.
Thank you, Ira.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.